So the strategy journey, what's the strategy journey? We're actually starting from a strategic analysis on the bottom. We're analyzing the current position and the current value propositions. We need to do that because the question is, given the opportunities and threats of the future, are our current position and our value propositions of today allow us to deal with those opportunities and threats? In other words, if we don't change anything, will we be able to deal with them? And if the answer is no, in some cases it will be yes, but in some cases it will be no. We won't be able to deal with them. We identify them or we group them into paramount challenges. Some of the paramount challenges are about the current way of doing business, and some others, probably more distant ones, are about how are we going to need to do business in the future beyond a next inflection point. And inflection point always exists. Just to take a very quick reference, the most popular one, think of 2007 for the mobile phone industry. So that was an inflection point. What happened after 2007, after the iPhone was launched, represented a significant change in the way people use the mobile phones, and also how the vendors of mobile phones had to build their business models and technology adopted and everything. So every industry has inflection points from time to time. And you need to understand when the next inflection point will be. Typically, that's associated with some more dramatic opportunities and threats along the evolution of some of the driving forces that are going to influence our industry, or even to influence ourselves inside our industry. So it might be macroeconomic or microeconomic driving forces, and that's the inflection point. Okay, so we need to understand where the inflection point will be, and we need to understand that we need to prepare for that as well. So some paramount challenges are about exploiting the current competitive advantage, the current way of doing business, and others are about preparing ourselves for a significant different way of doing business. It's exploration. So exploitation and exploration, we will have paramount challenges of both types. And then we need to make some strategic choices for each of them. Strategic choices along the two dimensions of the strategy. And the two dimensions of the strategy are born from the product market fit. It's a concept about dealing with the jobs to be done and the needs in the market, and then with the solutions that are going to be able to address those needs or those problems that the customers have or will have. And those are the two dimensions, and we need to take some choices on both of them. You can call them any way you like. I don't like the winning side, the winning part, because, for instance, in the public sector, you don't have any winning. It's not a zero-sum game there. So in order to have a universal approach, you can better use, for instance, problems to solve and solutions to deliver for the two dimensions of the strategy, for instance. Okay, so we need to make some choices there. We should have a cognitive reference model. It's used to be the Delta model built by Arnold Hawks. And it evolved to something that we're calling the Penta model, which allows us to deal with multiple available choices on each of two dimensions, and we need to pick exactly only the ones which are allowing us to deal with the paramount challenges. When we have done that, we need to do something with the strategic choices. They're just concepts about how to approach a certain market that has some specific needs, on how to solve some problems in a specific way, and we need to bring them to something that can be launched in the market as products and services. And that step that we need to make after making the choices, which are the foundation of our strategy, are the value propositions. And the value propositions are again about something that we will launch sooner, once we have the capabilities required for them in place, and those are mostly with exploiting the current competitive advantage. And some others will be launched later because we don't even know everything about the technologies, the business models. So we'll need to go into the exploration mode, into the incubation mode, as Geoffrey Moore says in his Zones to Win. And we will have value propositions that will be ready at specific moments in time in the future to deal with the paramount challenges, which again will come not all at the same time. They will come, some will come sooner, some opportunities will be sooner, some later, some threats will be sooner, some later, and some of them will be associated with the inflection point that will dramatically change our industry. And we need to prepare the value propositions for them. Now, remember, value propositions are not products or services. They are the conceptual framework for our products and services. It's like we create an instance of the value proposition by several products and services which comply with the same concepts and success formula defined by the value proposition, but there are different products and services. And launching products and services is not the job of strategies. That is the job of operations. That is the job of marketing. Inside each marketing department, you will see that there is a product development or a service development unit which actually does exactly that. They launch products into the marketplace, new ones. Of course, they can dig deeper into the customer needs by using something like design thinking and experiment a little bit with the product and test them and build prototypes and so on. But they will need to comply with the value proposition. And guess why do they need to comply with the value proposition? Because by analyzing the value proposition, we identified some required capabilities, and we've looked at which capabilities were missing. And we focused our strategy on closing those gaps of missing capabilities. And we created the strategic plans every year along the strategic horizon, multi-annual strategic horizon, and created the capabilities, set in place the capabilities in order for us to be able to support all the essential and trade-off factors of the value proposition and allow products to be launched based on that value proposition. So that's the ways that we move forward through implementing strategy by closing gaps, setting up the necessary capabilities required by each of the value proposition sequentially, and then being able to launch as soon as the value proposition is fully supported with capabilities. Then we're able to use it to launch new products and services and be able to deal with the paramount challenges where we have started from. So that's the concept of the strategy and implementing the strategy and executing the strategy.